Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again on International Women's Day for another episode of Boxing News Today. And I thought I'd start today's episode off with a quick little story, courtesy of our friends at Boxer, BOXXER. Top prospect Shannon Ryan will make her professional debut on Saturday, March 26th on the Boxer Fight Night at the OVO Arena, Wembley. What a place to make your debut. Managed by former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua under his banner 258 Management, the Watford hotshot is well versed in combat sports with an extensive career starting in kickboxing when she was 5 years old, winning multiple international tournaments and culminating in 2 WAKO titles, and recognized as the world's best at her weight. Ryan was then given a place on Team GB Taekwondo squad searching for a new challenge. Ryan then channeled her focus towards using her fists and found boxing, where as an amateur she excelled in winning the 2019 Women's Winter Box Cup and the 2018 Alliance Boxing Champion, while winning silver at the 2020 London Championships. Now Ryan is set for the professional ranks and the dream of becoming a world champion. She'll be trained by Javon Archibald and will compete in the super flyweight division, said Ms. Ryan. I'm excited to be working with a supportive team, 258 Management, that will help me establish myself within the boxing industry. The goal is to inspire and motivate the next generation. Well said, well said. All right, on we go to the next story, where we feature another up-and-comer. Chilean standout Andres Campos tested the bantamweight waters as he looks to continue his rise towards a world title as well. Campos featured on away soil in Buenos Aires, Argentina, by winning a knockout in round number 4 against Colombian opposition who had previously operated in the super bantamweight division. Campos discussed his latest outing and hoped for 2022. I'm very grateful to get another win under my belt and be able to put Argentina for the first time as a professional. And to be able to box in Argentina for the first time as a professional. Apologies. I want to thank my team, Tony Tolj, Nico Martinez, a Dragonfire Boxing Latino, and everybody involved in getting me a fight in Argentina. I enjoyed the fight. I boxed a little harder than I normally do, and it was nice to see firsthand that I can operate at higher weights. I am a flyweight, and I hope to fight for the flyweight world title this year, but I know I have the skills and power to go as high as bantamweight or even super bantamweight in the future. Wow. As I said, he's being guided by Australian icon Tony Tolj and has weighed in on his Chilean charges, and that's for 2022. Tolj said, I was impressed again with Andres. He's a class act, and not just a massive future, but a massive present. I genuinely believe he's going to go on to become a multi-weight world champion. He's showing all the signs he's able to do that. Andres has impressed in camp with both the Maloney brothers, and he's going to be the next Latino breakout flyweight star. I believe a fight with someone like Julio Cesar Martinez is a realistic goal for Andres over the next 12 months. So we'll wait and see on that. And good luck to Tony and his new charge. All right. Elsewhere, this past weekend, we saw Robert Sims go toe-to-toe against Moses Johnson in Detroit. It's taking place in Dearborn, Michigan, USA, called the Detroit Brawl. And in that fight, we have a result. Another sold-out crowd of raucous Motown boxing fans showed up for Salida Promotions' latest Detroit Brawl event. That was held last Saturday, March 5th. And despite a controversial ending to the heavyweight main event, the successful card saw several exciting matchups go down in Motor City. Fighting in the Lincoln Ballroom of the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center in Dearborn, heavyweights Robert Sims, who's 11-3-1 with 3 knockouts, and undefeated New Yorker Moses Thunderhands Johnson, who's an 8-0, 7-0 record, 8-0, 7 knockouts record, saw their main event end with controversy as an accidental foul forced an abrupt end to the bout. After fighting evenly for the first 2 rounds, Sims turned his head during the action just in time to catch 2 heavy shots from Johnson in the back of the head unintentionally. After receiving the dangerous foul, Saginaw Sims fell to the mat for an extended period and was eventually ruled unable to continue. Referee Gerard White and Michigan Commission correctly ruled that because the 3 rounds had not been completed, state rules mandate that the fight be called a technical draw at 31 seconds of round 3. This Friday, this weekend, we've got some fights coming up around the world. Let's start off with the one taking place in Aberdeen, featuring Dean Sutherland and Corey Mcculloch, who will take their fight to Aberdeen, Scotland, in an exciting twist to our show at Aberdeen's Beach Ballroom on Friday, March 11th. The headline fight will now be an all-Scottish affair between Dean Sutherland and Corey Mcculloch, with all the action seen live and free on Fight Zone. Top prospect and local man Sutherland, who's 12-0 with 4 knockouts, was always due to headline the Fight Academy and Connacht Boxing Promotions affair, but with current events in Europe making it a little more difficult to find a match, Arbroath's Mcculloch has stepped in at late notice for a great opportunity to leapfrog his rival. Mcculloch, who's 4-1-1, was due to fight for the Scottish welterweight title just a few weeks ago before an injury to champion Stuart Burt scuppered the contest. And the 28-year-old was already slated to appear on the undercard for Friday's Beach Ballroom show, so he's more than ready for this 10-round tussle against Sutherland. The pair are no strangers and have sparred together lots previously, but with the head guards off and the small gloves on, this is a fight where anything can happen. Sutherland was impressed in his last 2 fights, picking up stoppage wins against good opposition and claiming WBC and WBO fringe titles. Deadly Dean, who's 23, will be the clear favorite ahead of what should be an exciting fight, but cannot afford to take his eye off the ball against Mcculloch if his dream of fighting for the British title in the near future is to be realized. Undefeated Frank Arnold takes on Paul Holt this Friday in London. Taking place at the York Hall in London, England, the rising super featherweight star Frank Arnold will make a spectacular introduction to life as a Queensberry fighter with a brutal first round. What? Oh, rising super featherweight star. Let me start again, please, and I apologize. Rising super featherweight star Frank Arnold made a spectacular introduction to life as a Queensberry fighter with a brutal first round stoppage at the Copper Box in September. With previously only having 1 stoppage on his record, it was widely expected that the 23-year-old would be extending rounds by Lee Glover. And even Arnold himself admits the quick finish took him by surprise. Arnold, who's 8-0-1, has his next Queensberry outing on the Prospect Show that takes place at York Hall on March 11th, and that'll be live on BT Sport. I didn't expect it, to be fair, conceded the quietly spoken Enfield resident. I just hit him with a right hook, left hand, and then it was like, oh shit. And I was surprised myself. After that, I just finished the job. I'm not really being seen as a puncher with just 2 knockouts, but when somebody comes to win, I can let my hands go. It was my biggest step up in the ranks. It was a big experience, a great atmosphere as well. I was buzzed up for it a lot. Arnold reports that with limited amateur experience, he's learning on the job, and it was impressing in a sparring session that was held at the old Peacock Gym with Bilal Ali that caught the eye of his now manager, Tunde Aji. I didn't have a lot of amateur fights, about 16, I think, but I boxed good kids and always went straight into the deep end. I was sparring Bilal at the Peacock, and all of a sudden we were chatting to each other, and he liked my sparring. It's a big opportunity for me, he added. It'll be my first 10-rounder. It should be exciting. I'm training for knockout, so if it comes, it comes, as I say. So that's a fight that's taking place this weekend. Frank Arnold takes on Paul Holt this Friday at York Hall. That'll be March 11th. Elsewhere this weekend, taking place in a place called Toronto, Canada, at the Rebel Entertainment Complex. Fight Zone has some great international action for viewers on Sunday, March 13th, with a show from Canada, the first of 5 Canadian events they'll be bringing to you this year. Fight Zone is completely free to watch around the world until the end of April. And then there's a subscription charge that kicks in. The fight on March 13th, Toronto, is headlined by former NABA champion Samuel Vargas, who's 31-7-2, taking on Przemysław Ronowski, who's 19-2 for the IBO International Welterweight title on a Lee Baxter Promotions event. Canada-based Colombian Vargas is well known to the British fight fans for his previous visits to the UK, where he faced Amir Khan and Conor Benn. Following his defeat to rising star Benn last April, Vargas is eager to showcase the skills that gained him international recognition as a gritty veteran. Returning to fight in his adopted hometown for the first time since 2018, Vargas looks to put on a thrilling performance in front of the crowd at Rebel Entertainment Complex. Vargas notes, "Fans make all the difference in the world. It was an adjustment having to go out there without them, and there's no doubt I performed to my potential when I hear them roar. Being back in Toronto, having a chance to go for the IBO title in front of a packed house, I'm going to deliver one hell of a performance on March 13th. Having gone to war with elite fighters Errol Spence Jr. and Khan, Vargas views the bout with Ronowski as a tough test on the climb back to facing world-level competition. Poland's Ronowski is looking to capture the IBO International Welterweight title with his debut on the Canadian boxing scene. The Eastern European will also be familiar to UK fans after his loss against Portsmouth's unbeaten Michael McKinson last summer. A promising fighter, Ronowski will bring his athletic, built-to-last style to Toronto, along with a decent Polish fan base. Fair enough. Also on that fight card, by the way, local favorite women's star Amanda Gali, 5-0-0, fresh off her November super bantamweight victory against Jakub aims to continue her perfect professional career on home turf. The co-main event will see light heavyweight standout Nick Fantuzzi, who's 10-0-0, returned from a 2-year hiatus to remind Canadian boxing fans why he's a thrilling prospect in the division. With top prospects, a new Lee Baxter promotion signing added to the card, Sunday, March 13, looks to be a showcase for next generation talent in a thrilling boxing event. Let's bounce around the world here, see what's happening at the Roberto Duran Arena in Panama City on March 12th. It's going to be a fight. Jezreel Corrales will go against Miguel Madunho. Thompson's boxing unbeaten lightweight contender, Miguel Madunho, who's 27-0 with 25 knockouts, who's known for his explosive power and exciting fights, I'll bet, now has the chance of a lifetime as he faces former world champion Jezreel Corrales, who's 25-4 with 10 knockouts in a WBA lightweight title eliminator. The 12-round bout will take place at the Roberto Duran Arena in Panama City, Panama, on March 12th. That's this weekend, on a KO to Drugs event hosted by the WBA. The 23-year-old Madunho is looking to change his life forever with a win. We put him on line to be a mandatory challenger for the WBA lightweight world champion, which is currently held by George Kambosos Jr., who, as we all know, is 20-0 with 10 knockouts, one of the biggest names in the sport right now. I want to thank my promoter, Thompson Boxing, for guiding my career in such a great way, said Madunho, who is currently riding a 13-fight knockout streak. They provided a way for me to get in a position to display my skills to the world. This is my moment. I will rise to the occasion as I want to be Thompson Boxing's next great world champion. Good luck to him. Elsewhere, in the upcoming weeks, we see Vishon Champion is going toe-to-toe against D'Angelo Cunningham. That'll take place at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, USA. Rising prospect, welterweight Vishon Champion, 2-0 with 1 knockout, who is advised by legendary freeway Rick Ross, will make his 2022 debut against D'Angelo Cunningham, who's 1-2, on March 25th at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. That's in Pennsylvania. The scheduled 4-round bout is being promoted by Rodney Rice out of RDR Promotions. It is exciting to be back in action, especially under the Team Freeway Boxing banner, said Champion, who hails from Dayton, Ohio. I'm excited to be fighting in Philly as I've been training here with Jaron Boots Ennis for the last couple of weeks. His father, trainer Bozy Ennis, is also my head coach. Together, we've been giving each other great sparring, and I'm getting better every day. Training with the Ennis family, who are elite, has elevated my game. I'm ready to put forth a great performance and show everyone what I'm about. Alrighty. And for the last piece on this episode, let's go to Hard Hitting Promotions, who have announced the signing of featherweight Avery Sparrow. Speaking of Philadelphia, Sparrow, who fights out of Philadelphia, has a record of 11-3 with 4 knockouts. The 28-year-old Sparrow has been a professional for 8 years and is now known for his ability to rise to the occasion against top competition. We are excited to add Avery to our roster. He's a very talented fighter. He can beat anyone in 126 and 130-pound divisions. This is Manny Rivera of Hard Hitting Promotions. He has shown he's willing to fight anyone, as now with Hard Hitting Promotions, Avery will be put in a position to get important and meaningful fights on his way for him to fight for a world title. He's just 28 years old, and despite having just 14 fights, he has a ton of experience and success against high-quality opponents. It's a wonderful experience to sign with Hard Hitting Promotions. They're doing a lot of great shows with me on this roster, and the things I'm trying to accomplish is a good fit for both of us, and we can help catapult each other to do major things in the sport. I'm looking to get back in the ring sometime in April, said Sparrow. All right, sports fans, thanks very much for joining me here on Talkin' Fight. We look forward to seeing you again at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with Mike Orr at 4 on his show, Knuckle Up. Until then, have a great day.